I do want to hit on something else. We were talking the other day in regards to social media, the following of these players, maximizing your marketability if you're a player, and how they're going to be using social media as a way to judge what the fair market value is of the deals you sign. Some of these guys have been, for a couple of years now, trying really hard to create a personal brand. You could just look back to last year. Remember David Sanders, when he was going to commit, we saw his line of clothing came out, and there's a whole lot of them doing this. We usually don't see it because nobody wants to buy it and it's trash. Like so they're not going out and getting, all these different sizes and garments printed up. This is print on demand, which is like they stamp on this big, disgusting piece of plastic and melt it onto a shirt. So there's literally no upfront cost to get this done. And generally the people setting up the site and everything will do it for free. They're just going to print it, ship it, and they take a cut. So all these guys have these things. If you want to go looking for them, there's nobody you would want to, because they're high school kids and you don't want to wear a shirt with their name on it. So there are some who are doing this in a little more of a savvy way, and some that are putting a whole lot of effort into it. One of those is Ohio State linebacker target Tyler Atkinson, best linebacker in the country. Now, often what happens with a guy like Tyler Atkinson in his recruitment from a state where the in-state school is the leader, like a Texas, like a Georgia, like one of the kids out of Florida with Miami or Florida State or Florida, is you will hear a whole lot of people who cover national recruiting and Ohio State recruiting make it sound like the Buckeyes are right there all along to keep the fan base engaged. And then as things wind down, to kind of protect their hide from the things they've been saying all along. Realistically, this is just a really, really hard pull to get a defensive player out of the state of Georgia. Kirby Smart making it his personal mission, and they back off of it, and the kid stays where you thought he probably would have gone anyway. And that is what we're starting to hear with Tyler Atkinson. And I didn't have him in my mock class. I think the Buckeyes have done as good as they could have possibly done in this recruitment so far. I think James Laurinaitis is as good as it gets. When recruitments are this close, little things seal the deal, sway a guy from one side to the other. And for Tyler Atkinson, that's certainly going to be, number one, a big paycheck, which he's going to get paid big time. There's no doubt about that. The good news for the Buckeyes, if it really is Ohio State and Georgia going head to head, not Miami or Oregon, then we're talking about two schools whose bidding wars amongst each other is not going to be ridiculous. Neither one of them will overextend themselves for a freshman and bring in a kid who's making a lot more than the guys already on the roster that are contributing. It's just not the way they operate. And they don't generally compromise that for anybody, sans a Jeremiah Smith. And I respect that. And a lot of schools would like to be able to do it like that. They just don't have as much to offer as Georgia and Ohio State, so they can't. But when we talk about Tyler Atkinson, this is a kid who is so into his personal brand, and it is something that I can't remember another kid his age being so, I don't know what to say. Like, everything he does is about this brand, which is ATKNUP. I don't even know how you pronounce it. I don't know what it is. I have tried to look it up and see exactly, like, does he put a statement on it? But like, what exactly, how do I describe what my personal brand is? ATKNUP, acting up. I don't know. And I can't find it, but everything he tweets, everything he merchandise, like his merchandise, it's all ATKNUP, ATKNUP life. And he tweets like inspirational quotes, which are just ridiculous coming from a 17-year-old kid, man. But it's his thing, and he is all the way in on it. It's a huge deal to him. I mean, a huge deal. And it may turn out being a very smart deal for him. I mean, it's already starting off really good for him because he's a 5-star, and the schools that are recruiting him are very in tune to how important this is to him, and they are really trying to assist him in this ATKNUP and get themselves a leg up. Now, his first official visit was to Clemson. And he talked about how much he loved the plan that Clemson had for ATKNUP. Then he went to Oregon, and he was blown away by the ATKNUP plan. He talked about the ATKNUP plan along with the football plan. He's now scheduled his third official visit. That third official visit is to Georgia. My hope is Georgia will tell him, sorry, kid, we play football here. You can work with our marketing. We don't have an ATKNUP plan for you. They'll handle that. Because if they say that at Georgia, when he comes to Ohio State, which looks like now will be his final official visit, remember he's releasing these one at a time, right? He didn't just make a post and say, I'm going to Clemson, then Oregon, then Georgia, then Ohio State, one at a time. And that may sound a little bit diva-ish, but he's trying to reach as many people as possible in each post. And in each post, he can promote ATKNUP, and it'll quadruple the amount of times as if he just released it once. And that's what any smart marketing person would tell you. If this kid wasn't an alien level talent, like there is no way these crusty old football coaches would put up with this, but my gosh, he is so good, man. He is so good. You got Dabo Sweeney talking about ATKNUP. I wish I knew how to pronounce it. Now, three things that I think are really important to note here. Number one, he scheduled his final visit, most likely, to Ohio State. Number two, we know that he loves James Laurinaitis, and we know that James Laurinaitis is a fantastic recruiter, makes fantastic connections, and he's going against Glenn Schumann, who was a quarterback, high school quarterback in Texas. Like there's just he's a great linebacker coach, great track record, but it's not the same as James Laurinaitis. And number three, and maybe the biggest one, if this kid really loves Georgia and loves Ohio State, and in my opinion, he loves them both, when we talk about ATKNUP and how important this is to him, which program puts you on the biggest stage in college football? Which program gets you on the cover of website pages? Which program, when you're a star at that program, gives you the biggest platform across the country? I'm not saying because I'm a Buckeye fan, just a fact, that's Ohio State. When you are a star football player at Ohio State, your platform is unmatched. And this will certainly be part of Ohio State's pitch to him. And they'll back it up with data to a kid that appears as focused on his personal brand as he is on football. And in most cases, that'd be a really bad thing. But it blends together because ATKNUP, so far as what I can see, is a lot about training and discipline and being elite and working hard. So there's synergy there. It's ridiculous, man. But as big or equally as big is the Buckeye Sports Group that we just talked about. And I'd be very surprised if the Buckeye Sports Group didn't already have multiple brands lined up, ready to work with ATKNUP the moment he steps onto campus. And I'm not saying Ohio State's the only ones that have got something like this going on with him. I'm just saying that Ohio State's deals for the same kind of deal will be worth more because the stage will be bigger. And that's going to be pretty easy to show him. And he'll grow his brand at double the clip at Ohio State to a much broader spectrum of people. So I'm not saying the Buckeyes are going to land him, but it is pretty interesting to think about it from this perspective. Because if the Buckeyes do land him, I think it's this that will have made the difference between Georgia and Ohio State, because they obviously got the advantage in a couple other ways. One, in geography. Two, in Glenn Schumann having the best linebackers year after year and putting them in the NFL. But when you're a guy as talented as Tyler Atkinson, you probably think you could go to Texas Tech and take the biggest check and still be drafted as high as you would anywhere else in the NFL. That's how good he is. And, I don't know, but I do think it is pretty telling that it looks like he's scheduling Ohio State as his final visit. And as irritating as all this personal brand stuff is when you're listening to it, I'm sure there's plenty of you who are probably just like cringing out. If this kid said, I need to sell 500,000 ATKNUP Ohio State logoed shirts, we'd all be buying one to get him in. So, we both play the game, right? But